Audrey, great job. Well done, well done. And now my friend to present, super excited to have him here. Servan is not only been a great friend in the MuleSoft community, but we kind of grew up together in MuleSoft. He has done so well on what he has created. I'm going to have him share a lot of this with you. We've got some celebrations to make, but his focus is on the MuleSoft Hyperautomation Specialist certification. But a little bit about Servan. He is such a joy to be with in person, but so knowledgeable and so friendly remotely as well. He is with Millennium. He has been a MuleSoft ambassador for a while now, and also was awarded this year as a 2022 All-Star Award. So well deserved, well deserved. Developer, architect, SME. Servan, I'll let you take it away.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you so much, first of all, for giving this opportunity for me to speak for your Muted group. So, hi everyone. As Diane mentioned, I am here in this MuleSoft ecosystem for quite a while. I have overall 8 years of IT experience, and out of which like 7+ years is into MuleSoft. So I started with Mule 3.7 version, and I'm continuing with 4.4 version. So today I'm here to share my experience with MuleSoft Hyperautomation certified specialist exam. So because I have given my exam and I have passed it in the second attempt, not in the first attempt. Okay, so that gives me more experience and more insights, how to crack and all. So just before getting started and sharing my screen, I wanted to know how many of you have really, that today's topic, there are two topics. One is healthcare topic and the other one is hyper automation specialist. But how many of you really know that there is a certification called hyper automation certification specialist exam? Just yes, no's.
Yeah, in the chat, did you know that there was a certain, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
So
Okay.
yes and no. So good that. So hyper automation specialist exam has been released recently, probably in the end of January, if I'm not wrong. But I have given my exam in December because there were like few releases that happened for exclusively for MuleSoft community leaders, and trust me, it took like 40 days or 50 days for me to prepare for this exam. Okay, so before sharing my screen, let me turn off my video because I won't my whenever I explain something, my expressions goes weird. So let me share my screen and get started with my presentation. So here I am again. So before going to my experience or the tips and tracks, I want to let you know the exam registration and format. Yes, you can go to training.mulesoft.com where you can find the hyper automation specialist exam, but now you can also go to Trailhead community and there you can find this exam. So the format is very simple, just like other exams we have. It is multiple choice question, it is a closed book, proctored and online. Make sure you're having a table and chair, you're not having any of your devices, because right, whenever you're writing some exam with MuleSoft, it takes like around 15 minutes for them to evaluate your presence, like your surroundings. And also please make sure that you have an empty room with no books, nothing on your side. Okay, and you will be having 60 questions and we have 120 minutes. So take it like one question takes 2 minutes, but not really. Some few questions are you can answer it like within 10 seconds, so you can save time for other questions. And the pass score is 70%. This is where I wanted to stress here, guys. Pass score 70% doesn't mean that out of 60 70% of the questions, probably like 48 if I'm not wrong. So 12 questions, if you go wrong, that's fine. No, it is always the section wise. So the percentage is calculated according to the section wise. For example, if there are 10 sections, out of which 9 of them you have completed like 100%, okay, you have given 100%, and one section it is like 50%, you might think like you have scored like 98 or 96%. That's wrong. Okay, so it's always like sorry, that's the calculation, but don't think like out of 60 questions, if you have answered 50 questions, it doesn't mean that you have answered like 90% of questions. It is always section wise percentage. All right, and you can take the exam for like maximum of 5 times within 24 hours of span, but you have the specific rates for that. You can check it out in the website. So this is a little bit about exam registration and format. So let me go back to the topics. So first things first, so to all those who think hyper automation is all about MuleSoft RPA, you have failed here itself. All right. So I did the same mistake and I concentrated more on RPA. But RPA is not just the one part of the exam. The course curriculum is very clear. So please do have a read on what topics the exam is all about. Okay. You can find the exam topic and the course curriculum in the website. So, as the certification name says, hyper automation, right? It is a combination of both Salesforce and MuleSoft products together. It's not just RPA, right? So, if you all just have the MuleSoft knowledge alone or Salesforce knowledge alone, then you won't be able to crack the examination for sure. So it is a combination of both Salesforce and MuleSoft. So here are the few topics that I have mentioned here. So this exam contains the topics like MuleSoft Anypoint, which is nothing but our Anypoint platform stuff, MuleSoft Composer, then so Anypoint platform, it is like more for MuleSoft folks, right? So Salesforce folks must need to concentrate on the questions from MuleSoft side, right? And for MuleSoft folks, any MuleSoft Anypoint questions are like cakewalk probably, because if you have done like level 1 exam, this is so easy for you. And MuleSoft Composer, I'm not sure how many of you know that MuleSoft Composer is basically for Salesforce guys. They have their developer tool, like once developer portal. Once they log in, they find MuleSoft Composer. Usually, it's like Anypoint Studio for Salesforce developers, I would say. So this is more for Salesforce guys. But again, the people who are from MuleSoft background, you have to concentrate on MuleSoft Composer as well. It's it's more or less it's the same code, but the syntax and all right, it differs. And MuleSoft RPA, of course, it is totally an entire new technology. We have acquired RPA. So so this is where, like, I took like 30 days of my time to go through like hands-on and all stuff, and I totally forgot to concentrate on other topics. So that's where I failed, because I'm not a Salesforce guy. I was like into MuleSoft right from my career. So I failed. You can see my next topic is Salesforce Einstein, and I was really quite surprised. I'm surprised because I didn't learn that, but it was there clearly in the curriculum. So again, Salesforce Einstein, flow builder, and orchestration basics and flow orchestration, these are like for Salesforce guys, it is they are more familiar, but this is the area that people who are from MuleSoft background has to concentrate, right? And people who are from Salesforce background, you have to really concentrate on Anypoint and RPA and Anypoint Manager and Exchange. So these are the topics that you will be getting for this examination. uh, so next things next. So when it comes to integration, right? MuleSoft Anypoint platform and MuleSoft Composer, this is about integration. And RPA. So when it comes to RPA, what kind of questions that you will get? Okay. And the easier way to, so you will be having some questions like, you will be having scenario based questions. Like, they have a scenario where they need to extract some data from a UI path, okay, and need to be probably those records have to be stored in Salesforce, right? Here we have two scenarios. One is extracting of the data from UI path. In such case, whenever you hear like whenever you hear about at automating this manual repetitive task that involves UI or Excel or browser, you should definitely know that MuleSoft RPA is one of the products that you have to choose. So how to know whether you have to use MuleSoft Composer? Whenever there are some terms like you have to integrate SaaS systems using like pre-built IT approved connectors like Workday, Slack, you have to go with MuleSoft Composer. Of course, MuleSoft Anypoint is also used to connect to Workday and Slack, but through Composer, whenever there is a minimal data transfer or minimum data weave things, you have to go with MuleSoft Composer. One more small hint when to use MuleSoft Composer is whenever you have a requirement to integrate with Salesforce with other systems like NetSuite, Jira, Workday, etc., or vice versa. You want to integrate NetSuite with Salesforce or Salesforce with NetSuite. Please note that one system has to be Salesforce with MuleSoft Composer. Then we can really relate that we have to use MuleSoft Composer. And when to use Anypoint platform, whenever there are like complex integrations, complex data transformations, and implementing API led approach. So the question itself, they will try to say, we have these layers and we have some complex data transformation. So you can easily sense that you have to go with MuleSoft Anypoint platform, right? So, and this is not just enough, you should also know when not to use these products, right? This is what I was saying. Like, MuleSoft RPA is not used for accessing a system via the US, to bypass approved APIs and controls. For example, there is like any APIs that you need to connect, then MuleSoft RPA is not the tool. Yes, still you can connect to APIs using MuleSoft RPA, but when it comes to the best solution, we already have MuleSoft Anypoint platform to connect to the APIs, right? And MuleSoft Composer is not for integrating on-premise applications. So whenever you have some scenarios where you want to integrate with on-premise things, so MuleSoft Composer is not the solution. Okay. And also, whenever you are asked like to do some complex data transformations, MuleSoft Composer is not the solution, right? So for high volume ETL data transfer, everything, MuleSoft Composer is not the best option. And when Anypoint platform is not a best option, whenever you are consuming data from user interfaces, UIs, or from simple SaaS systems, like for example, you have to connect between Salesforce NetSuite or Jira and Salesforce, then you can use Anypoint platform, but MuleSoft Composer is more easier to use that. So this type of tricky questions, almost 6 to 7 questions will be asked, what type of products that you have to use with the scenario mentioned. All right. So I have already mentioned about MuleSoft Composer. Please do remember again that you have to go through the Trail Max. So in the course curriculum, you have some Trail Max learning sessions. All right. So you have to almost go through all the questions, never skip even one section, because I felt like when I failed for the first attempt, because I can memorize some questions, right? So when I looked at the Trail Max, I saw like I have missed those modules, and the questions have come from there. The very good thing that you have to do is go through the Trail Max. At the end of the Trail Max, for each section or each module, you'll be having some quiz questions, right? So please try to attempt those quiz questions, and remember, whatever quiz questions that you see or what just I spoke, right, those questions are already in present in quiz. The format is already there in the quiz questions, so never skip the quiz questions. All right. So as I said, like they might be asking you scenario based questions like a company has to integrate between Salesforce and Jira, or Salesforce in NetSuite, or vice versa. Go with MuleSoft Composer, right? And when it comes to MuleSoft Anypoint platform, as a core MuleSoft developer, this section was really easy for me. I scored like 100% for that. But for Salesforce guys, you don't have to worry about it as well, because you won't be asked to have, solve any database questions or complex tech questions. Okay. You must be aware of the purpose of each feature of Anypoint platform. For example, what is Anypoint Exchange used for? What is API Manager used for? What is Runtime Manager used for? And what are the API-led connectivity layers like system, process, experience? If you know these basic questions, basic concepts, then I think it will be a cakewalk for you as well. Okay. Again, even for MuleSoft folks, don't be overconfident when you're answering them. Sometimes we do very silly mistakes, right? So please be cautious on that. Coming to the interesting section here in RPA. Again, guys, this is only my experience, so don't take it for granted, but this is just my experience, and I feel like if we follow this approach, we might crack the exam in a easy manner. So what has happened is, this section is which most you have might have thought like questions will be appear, most of the questions will be appearing. It is not true. It has the equal weightage with others. You must complete the training of MuleSoft RPA, okay? And don't waste your time putting your hands on it, because to complete. So I have recently given a session on, you know, uh, how to automate the process of RSVP to the MuleSoft meetups. I have done it. But that particular automation, the code, it took me like really 20 days to complete it. Of course, when you get practice, then later on I have done a couple of more automations. It was like maybe hardly 1 or 2 hours for me to complete the scenario. But when you are new to the technology, please don't waste your time putting your hands on it, but go through the training videos. We have RPA sessions, right? They are already showing you the demo how they have configured and all. Just memorize it of what they are doing. Okay. Because for now, go through the videos and hands-on part, and you can watch the videos and see how they have been implemented. Later, whenever you have time, you can just implement after that. And you should not rush in learning something because just because you have to complete the certification. This is a small tip that I have just noted down the points, so I'm just telling you these points. Don't be in a rush to complete the certification because your organization asked you to complete before 30th of April or some deadlines. just put all your efforts in learning, because that is really important than reaching the deadlines, right? So you have to have a strong grip on RPA manager. RPA manager is kind of how we have Anypoint platform. We have RPA manager where you can manage, design, develop things. Okay, you have to have strong grip on that, because these are the questions that they might ask. Like, you should know where you can do candidate evaluation, or where you can do financial benefits, or they will ask like which part of RPA manager does this process happens. So you have to really know. Like, for example, if you are from MuleSoft background, like what runtime manager does, what Anypoint exchange is all about, right? So same way, you have to be familiar with RPA manager. And you have a trail mix course as well in Salesforce training platform. So please go through that. Now coming to the interesting part, which I am not aware of. Okay, I am not a Salesforce guy, and I'm like, I have zero knowledge on Salesforce. So but glad that I failed in my first attempt, because I learned a lot after that. Okay, I took another 15 to 20 days to just concentrate on learning MuleSoft. I'm just checking the chat if there is any questions which are going on. Okay, but now no. Okay, I will answer your question, Vikas, on that. So coming back to my things, so using Salesforce Flow to build hyper automation workflows. So this section is entirely new for MuleSoft Works, as I said before. So do go through the entire module of trail flags. Okay, this is a section where I lost most of my questions and I had to give reattempt. It could be easy for Salesforce guys, but not for MuleSoft guys. Okay, and next interesting concept is Einstein bots. Okay, so again, this section might be easy for Salesforce folks, but it's entirely new topic for MuleSoft guys. Okay, I saw at least 10 questions having the options from this flow orchestration, or Einstein bot. So more than 10 plus questions here out of 60. That means it has equal weightage, guys. So don't get confused. They will ask about the business scenarios which I mentioned earlier, like what are the combination of tools that helps to provide the best solution. So it can be the combination of, for example, flow orchestration and RPA, or flow orchestration plus RPA plus composer. You will be asked to choose more than one option. So don't get confused. As I have, you can listen to this recording again, or I can provide you my experience I have written as a blog, and it is in my website. So just have this tricky things, right? These tips, like whenever it is like UI, go with RPA. Whenever it is like Salesforce to other integrations, go with composer. This kind of small things will really help you. Okay, and like, these are more or less that I wanted to discuss with you all. And my experience is in my website shravanlingam.com. You can always go through it. Okay, so this is my experience, and yes, I have cleared my integrate hyper automation certification, and I really feel proud. Not because I have not because I have succeeded in my second attempt, but I have learned a lot. I have learned a lot because I failed. So never go down if you're failing in your first or even the fifth attempt, right? It is helping you to just learn more what you know. So that's all. And I have a question from Vikas. Is there a trial version we can? Good question, Vikas. So currently, MuleSoft RPA hands-on or the license, right? It is only for the MuleSoft partners. Okay, who are if your organization is in partnership with MuleSoft, you can request your partner channel manager to provide you the license. But unlike Anypoint platform where you have a free trial account for 1 month, you won't be having that from your RPA. Again, it's not a blocker. The content, the RPA course is really super. You have to go through that. You can feel that experience only when you go through that course.
Great, great. Yeah, I wasn't sure if there was entitlements that had to be added, so I'm glad you mentioned that and covered it. And I've started before, I started on the trailhead, and you're right. There's videos in here. They show
Yes.
you how things are happening, so it really covers that material for you. And
Yes.
if your company does have the training credits,
Yes.
and you can go ahead and take the actual course. This is the instructor led course, and I did put that in the chat as well. And you can see what is covered, and even the this will link you over to the trailhead so that you're familiar with it. And so it's a great course. I'm actually taking the course this week. to be
Okay.
qualified to teach this course. So I'll be one of the instructors soon, because there is a qualification for us, as we approach each different class. So I encourage you. And what I love about this, what I'm learning so far, just like we say, MuleSoft connects anything, anywhere. And, the strength of it is, cross platform of different products. This is what hyperautomation is. It's taking different products and different
Yeah.
ways of doing things to expedite, the end result. So, also wanted to share with you right now, remember, we are still in transition. The courses are housed on the Trailhead Academy, like I showed you, but the exams are actually still on the training.mulesoft.com for right now. That
Yeah.
eventually will be switching over, so you can just purchase the exam when you're ready. That you each purchase for the exam allows you a free retake of this exam, and the details are here of what you can expect. There's also a data sheet,
Yes.
so you can download that data sheet and be able to, get an idea of the topics or the objectives of this exam. And here's your study sheet.
Yeah.
So, one of the qualifications I have to do to be qualified to teach this class is pass this exam. So, I am myself taking the notes and going through the details for every one of those categories that are on here for the topics. And where you look, they're sending us to the trail mixes to study some of the details on that. So, get this data sheet, dive in with the trailhead. Hopefully, you can come to an instructor led class, because it does give you the provisions of actually doing it and using it hands on. So that to me was has been very valuable as far as that's concerned. But thank you, Servan. You're
Thank
so
you.
wonderful, and appreciate you
Thank you so much.
sharing. And I've been asking you a bunch of questions because I want to know.
Yes.
So, but thank you so much. Oh, and you need to share. Wait. You're gonna share about your
Okay.
um
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so guys, just wanted to let you know that most of you might have seen some videos like on the name of MuleSoft-TechZone. So MuleSoft-TechZone is my MuleSoft, my YouTube channel that I started way back like 2 years back. Now I just hit like 20,000 subscribers. So it's all about MuleSoft. And we also organize a group in Telegram that is called MuleSoft for Beginners. So initially we started with people who are new to MuleSoft. We were like hardly 500 or 600. Now we are of like 7,000
Fantastic.
plus in that group. So,
That's awesome.
Look,
and
there's
this is
his
my website.
webpage.
Yeah.
And any of you who have been in my classes, I tell you about his MuleSoft cookbook for beginners.
Yes.
And it's really amazing to have all of the details put together in one place for you, even if you're doing the maintenance exam.
Yeah.
But yes, so congratulations
Thank
on
you so
all of
much.
your success there. We're really happy for you on that. So I know you all have been waiting